Is there any stories that you really want to tell? Anything that you've thought, hey, why hasn't this ever been shown? Or do you entirely write entirely just from your imagination? Or do you sort of reprise different stories and tell them in a different way?
Yeah, mostly. So it's called writing on spec. When you write something, you're not being paid for, but it's not a pre-existing IP. It's just your own idea, and I'm gonna make this a movie and just write it out, and then you try to shop that around.
Yeah.
So I've written my first take and angle on it, like a mixed martial arts movie, where most mixed martial arts movies, and there hasn't been a ton of them, but they're always very dramatic and gritty. You think of like Tom Hardy movie. What was that one called?
Warrior.
He fights his brother.
Yep.
That's
Never Back Down. That was kind of a shitty one, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
Southpaw. All very serious.
Southpaw. That's a good. Oh my gosh, that movie is intense.
I love that movie.
I love that movie too.
Yeah, but I wanted to. I wrote a movie, and it's gonna be. How do we even explain it? But I want to take a more comedic take to it. Obviously, it's gonna show you the realism of just that world of mixed martial arts and the roughness, and they're modern day pirates, and they're super rough around the edges, and then you throw like almost like a Forrest Gump type character in there, and who's just stumbles into the world of mixed martial arts and is the antithesis of everything that a mixed martial artist should be, other than athletically. And he picks up the sport and has this like unconventional rise in the heavyweight ranks, but he's just a complete idiot. And like, like he hates fighting, but he's whooping ass and hating it and crying, and everyone loves him.
I love it.
And he just like telling people he loves them, and everyone's like, what the fuck, what's wrong with this guy? Dude, get him out of here. But he's so good, I don't know what to do with him. So just the clashing of worlds, kind of that fish out of water feel, and the full triumphant situation. I wrote a take like that, and I'm considering a rewrite, making it more of like a buddy comedy between his trainer and him. But
is this another role that you envision yourself in?
Yeah. I've started to get really into just MMA as a sport. Typically, like I don't play football anymore, so I can't play it. So watching it, it's not as interesting for me. But I do a little bit of mixed martial arts and just really enjoy the sport. Like just one thing, just like boxing alone, there's so much you have to remember and be unconsciously competent. And when a punch comes this way, you duck and then there's jiu-jitsu and there's Muay Thai, and all these guys are doing all of them in one, and having to be completely empty in their brain and just know what to do instinctively. It just blows my mind when I watch the sport now.
Yeah.
Just doing one of them, I'm like overloaded in my brain.
Yeah. We had Elaine Ganali was in our podcast maybe 3-4 episodes ago. He's the 5-time world champion judo. He's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a 5, and he's a 5 simultaneous black belts. All at the same time. He's 47. He's a freak daddy athlete. I've never seen anything like him in my whole life. Like, of any age. Not even you. Dude. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So you could go so far with that. If you want to. Would you ever actually compete in it?
No.
Would you do? No?
I've taken enough beatings in my head. You gotta really, that's the thing. Like, you gotta really, really want it, to do a combat sport. Like, the beating that you're taking, the stars that you're seeing after hits, like, all that stuff. When I was playing, it was like, no, compartmentalize that. I'll deal with my brain later. I'll think about that later. I love this too much. I got to do whatever it takes to stay focused on this and not freak out about anything else. I love the sport so much, and I want to be successful at it, that I can't focus on any of that.
Yeah.
And, and so it's like, to think of how much I gave to the sport and how much I loved it, and what a toll it took on me. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that again. And it's not in mixed martial arts, especially not at 34 years old. So I respect the heck out of what those guys do, and that lifestyle and the uncertainty within it, and they're just hitting each other in the face every day, and just hoping they can get the next fight, and hoping that fight can give them a little more clout to get to the next level. And it's just. It's tough, man.
Yeah. And after your time in the NFL, I mean, I know you had dreams to do 10-year. I know you had dreams to go all pro and everything, but I mean, we've got a family friend. We know Sean Patterson. He was in it for, was he in it? Do you know? I believe it was 8 years he played for the Green Bay Packers. And just seeing what that guy has had to go through now with all of his CTE and all of his injuries as he's aged, be thankful you got out with where you're at right now. Yeah. I mean, you're cognizant of what's going on. You don't have any long-lasting, perpetual injuries, knock on wood, that will ever, come back later on.
Yeah.
So I get it
Yeah.
that look, we've all got dreams, but be thankful that you still got your health, you still got your youth, and you can do all these other options are now available to you where they probably wouldn't be at all. You wouldn't be able to just even recreationally take on martial arts if you played for 15. You know what I mean? Like Tom Brady's not going to go do jiu-jitsu when he's done with this. How he's still there, I don't know. But yeah,
that's a great mindset to take with it. It's so true. I got a whole lot out of the sport and out of the game, and still got my body as well. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely, bro. That's awesome.